Yo, this is a TRI zone. We do it for our neighbors like we do it for our home. We do it for the peasants and we do it for the crown. We bring them to our level so we never looking down. This is a new age classic. The beat bomb plastic. Your feet you gon' clap it. The hate you gon' stop it. Track you gon' buy it. Them jets you gon' fly it. The Mets you can buy it. The Mexicans like it.
Hello and welcome back, my beautiful Origintrail community members and data pioneers. I am so excited to have the Trini Zone back in action with you guys and be able to keep up with you boys and girls. It's been very busy for me building our Trackverse, working with the Origintrail team, working with the community members to make sure that you get the best of the best. So without further ado, even our special member here today wants to make sure that you guys get the best information. So she came by just to make sure that this video is done correctly, okay? So without further ado, let's begin. So today we're really going to be talking about the decentralized knowledge graph and in specific the Origintrail 15th RFC. Now, there's a lot of important details that we should get by. So be sure to mute your phone the next time you decide to do a YouTube video. So without further ado, let's dive. Now, the Origintrail 15 RFC introduces the Origintrail Parachain governance system. Now, this is a crucial step in the Parachain development and roadmap as it increases the capacity of the Origintrail community to pretty much participate in the decisions and the development of the Origintrail Parachain itself. The implementation of Origintrail governance will allow for the ecosystem stakeholders and participators to really be involved in all these important decision making. So this is a big step for the ecosystem, as it relates to decentralization and ecosystem participation. So it's important to get these steps done pretty correctly. Now, the proposed governance model is inspired directly from the Polkadot ecosystem and starts with OTP governance version 1. So let's break down the components of this here particular RFC. Now, in OTP governance version 1, active OTP token holders and the council members administrate the network together. So what we're really talking about here is opening up the Origintrail Parachain to the community. The council plays a central role in proposing, canceling, and fast-tracking referendums. One of the major benefits of implementing OTP governance is the removal of the Sudo account, which leads to a more decentralized and transparent decision-making process. So when we talk about decentralized and decision-making process, this means the open community will be more involved in the decisions made with the Origintrail Parachain. For example, as we know, we just launched this network about the beginning of this year. So we've been fine-tuning everything, making sure everything's good for the community and ready to go. So when you see things like this taking place, it means that the Origintrail team has reached a certain level of technical maturity such that they trust that the technology would work in the hands of the community. So for us, we should be very excited that we're seeing conversations like this taking place. This is good, very, very good. So of course, let's continue to go into a bit more of the details. So there is a general council, which is an on-chain entity consisting of several actors represented as on-chain accounts. So initially, there's going to be 5 members, but this number can obviously change over time through the governance processes, right? The council is responsible for proposing sensible referenda, canceling dangerous and malicious referenda, and/or fast-tracking referenda proposals. Now, eligibility to become a council member is somewhat important. Well, you would assume so, considering you're going to be managing the Origintrail Parachain and thereby affecting its extended community. So let's talk a bit about the requirements for the eligibility to be a council member. Now, to be a council member, it says right here on the website that you must teleport track, which means you must have participated in the teleportation process. You must publish knowledge assets, aka you must know how the network works. And now to me, this is important because I wouldn't want somebody who's guiding the ecosystem that has never touched a knowledge asset or has no idea what a UAL is. Running an Origintrail DKG node as a part of is important to run on the Origintrail Parachain, and of course your 50,000 OTP stake, which is mandatory to even have a node running, and the Origintrail participating in the Origintrail auction slot. So these are the requirements to become a core member or a general member of the governance team. Now there is something called a prime member. Now let's talk a little bit more about the prime member, as this role is, somewhat important. So the council has a prime member whose vote acts as a sort of default vote for other members who fail to vote. This ensures quorum, or that the ecosystem moves forward regardless of abstained participation, and encourages councillors to explicitly cast your vote. Basically, silence is compliance. If you're silent, you're complying to whatever the Prime Minister does, and you're taking responsibility for that as well. So if you do not want the vote to go in the direction of the prime member, then you should and you have to participate by voting. So this is good. We're forcing people to, or discouraging abstaining from votes, which is good. We want people to participate. Now we go on to proposing. So who can propose these referendums? Well, let's dive a little bit. The council can propose and cancel and fast track referendums, as we have already said, but with varying degrees of majority support. So when a proposal is submitted by the public or the council, it must go through a referendum, allowing all OTP holders to vote on the proposal. So anybody can really vote on these proposals, but the council members have special powers in getting these proposals through or canceling them. All right, so I think we've pretty much covered the first portion of this RFC. So now we're going to dive into more about the democracy palette and dive into a little bit more details about referendums, which, as you can see in the Origintrail RFC, is exactly how it's laid out. So yes, so the democracy module is pretty much what handles all of the administrative activities on the Origintrail Parachain. And there are two pretty much different queues that a proposer can enter on the Origintrail Parachain. Now, queue number one is the proposer queue, which consists of all public proposals. And then there is the external queue, which consists of a single proposal that originates from one of the external origins, such as the council. So this is for special referendum or proposals that need to reach referenda. The democracy module handles all the administration of stakeholder voting and can perform root calls, which can replace a pseudo pallet. So when we're talking about root calls, we're talking about having the administrative power, the same power as a pseudo pallet, but this time it's basically distributed to the Origintrail community. So voting in a referenda generally requires locking tokens for at least the enactment period beyond the referendum's end. This ensures a minimal economic buy-in and dissuades vote selling. So there's various reasons as for why this is implemented. If you have experience in the Polkadot ecosystem, you know that when you put your tokens forward, you can symbolize how strong you want to vote for things, and this represents the strength of your vote is represented in time, how long you decide to leave your tokens in there for this particular vote. So again, we're closely modeling Polkadot's current existing frameworks for governance, which is a plus in my opinion. And as it says here, referenda are simple, inclusive, stake-based voting schemes. Each referendum has a specific proposal associated with it that takes the form of a privileged function called in the runtime. That includes the most powerful calls, set, code, runtime, upgrade. So once again, obviously the referendums require you to vote, and voting itself has different types and different powers of voting, and based on the different results, we have different based on the voting outcomes. You're going to have different results for a supermajority against, and a simple majority. Of course, feel free to dive in here and check out the math and do all your do-goodings that you need to do to understand what the Origintrail is doing. Now, it goes on to say that the second iteration of OTP governance, which is OTP V2, will entail further improvements in the governance mechanisms for the Origintrail Parachain. Now, the aim is to learn and reuse useful discoveries and outcomes derived from Polkadot's governance improvements and the OTP Governance V1 activities. So based on what we've seen before and based on the key learnings and the observations of Polkadot, we're going to be looking for somewhere in between to make sure that we have the best of both worlds. So yes, there you have it. A comprehensive or a semi-comprehensive or a majority comprehensive review of the Origintrail 15 RFC. My friends, if you are excited that me and my daughter here, Koi, are back in the Trini Zone, giving you the latest, datest, greatest, potatoes, man, status news, I suggest that you hit that like button. I suggest you hit that subscribe button, and I suggest you stay tuned for more details. And of course, peace and love, my people. Know that this boy here, I got mad love for y'all people. Peace. Hey. And by the way, just in case you did not know, your boy was painting. That's right, that's paint. But also, there's another P word that I want to talk about. Polkadot. Man, I'm coming in hot. Stay tuned.
Yo, this is a TRI zone. We do it for our neighbors like we do it for our own. We do it for the peasants and we do it for the crown. We bring them to our levels so we never looking down. This is a new age classic. The beat bomb plastic. Your feet you gon' clap it. The hate you gon' stop it. Track you gon' buy it. Them jets you gon' fly it. The Mex you can buy it. The Mexicans like it.